right. Still says pub. Yeah, it says public on there. All right, man. Hold up. All right, that last stream got messed up, so I don't know. It was like the connection. I even heard like that robot end on Robert Henry's side too. So let me see if I can get him back in here. All right, so going back. Okay. Yeah, let me pull this thing back up, man. I got kicked off of here, so hang on, y'all. All right. All right. Yeah, there you are, Marcus. I see. All right. I don't know what happened, man. Like, I heard the connection on Robert's end kind of messing up. Then all of a sudden on my end, it started whacking out. So I was like, damn. Then I heard in the stream, man, like StreamYard, I still heard what's the name talking over there, man. Like BJ and Robert was still talking. So hold on, man. Let me see if I can pull this thing back up. It was this one. All right, Robert. There you are, man.
Oh man, dude, we were sitting there having a conversation that should have got caught on your stream. Let me try to go back, okay?
For sure, man.
So,
all right, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Round, right?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't as many significant after Juliana had landed a few more knees and a couple of strikes, and then Valentina also had some hammer strikes, I think, in that round when Juliana was really trying to rough her up. Okay, but once they got back up against the cage and they got to the ground, it was just a battle of positioning. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't too many. I did see Juliana throwing like a lot of little throws, but they weren't significant. I felt that she missed about 70 to 80% of her strikes in the whole fight. That's the way I saw it, right? And some weren't significant, but the ones that landed, pretty much they just about all of them were significant when she landed clean, right? And after that, I mean, it's pretty much a positioning game. And then Juliana, made a mistake and got caught by Valentina. She was trying too hard to rough her up and kind of like I don't know. It looked like Juliana was trying to figure out how to get her in a position to where she can basically just either pound her out or catch her in a position to where it should be easier to submit. And like I said in the comments, Valentina is hard to submit.
Yeah.
Valentina be sitting on the ground and look like she's not even doing anything, but she knows what she's doing. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Now, in terms of, BJ made a good point in terms of something that you mentioned, that the fight was actually a 5-rounder, right?
Yeah.
And I forgot about that too. And BJ did mention the strategy that Pena was using in that fight. Maybe it was to offset.
It wasn't the best 5-round strategy. Like, could she keep that pace for 5 rounds?
Right. But maybe what I was saying though, when we were still talking, BJ, was my reaction to that is maybe it was an attempt. It may have been ill-advised. It was an attempt to try to offset the fact that even back then, Valentina was the type of fighter that was more built for 5 rounds. She already had the cardio advantage on Juliana Pena, even if at the time nobody was sure whether or not she had the ground advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Juliana Pena is certainly a really good wrestler. I mean, the wrestling aspect of her, I think, is her strongest suit. But Uh, so those were my initial thoughts on the fight. And if they fought again, I think it would still be interesting because with time fighters get better, fighters fight differently. But I mean, I would still go with Valentina, but I think it'd be an interesting fight.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, I saw what you said earlier in the chat, Robert Henry. Yeah, I almost misread it, but yeah, I do agree with you because that's exactly what I was saying about the strikes. Like, she was given a lot of knees, but she really needed to go up top. You know what I mean? She needed to go up top and mix it up, and that's why I said like there came a point where Valentina was like, "Oh, she just gonna keep throwing these knees. Well, I'm gonna grab the leg. I'm gonna just wait for a leg. I'm gonna grab it and take her down." There was really no variety there.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, Combo, but I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And in the chat too, when is the last time you seen Valentina really hurt to the body? Because I think she works so hard on that midsection that when she does get hit there hard, she's able to absorb it. Like those knees, some of them knees that Juliana was throwing. I mean, there's other fighters that probably would have willed it.
Exactly.
Whether it was just out of fear or just the pain.
I don't think maybe she wasn't hurt. Like, we don't know if she was hurt or not. I just think Valentina has a really good poker face.
Yeah, but I think that has a lot to do with her composure, though. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. A lot of fighters are good at that. But I just think that she's so composed. Like, most people, I'm telling most of those fighters, let me say, a lot of the WMMA, like, when they get up against the cage like that, you see the strain and all this. Sometimes they're even good. They're actually good at grappling and being in the clinch. But Valentina just has this air of just, I'm just going to be cool. I'm just going to be cool. It's like everything is going to be fine. Juliana is trying to, maul me and rip off my face, but I'm just going to, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, those are like pretty much my main thoughts on the fight. I mean, it was a good fight, but I will say this though, and I know we're gonna disagree on this. Some people are. I really don't think, other than a few instances, that Valentina was really in any serious trouble. I felt that there was some danger. I felt that Juliana was game, but when I look back at it, it actually surprised me how much I felt afterwards that Valentina wasn't in danger. Now I know there's no way of me, because I'm so biased and I'm such a big fan, but getting as far away as I can from it, I really think Valentina did a good job at mostly staying out of danger.
Yeah, I agree. I will say this too, that going back to your question, yeah, I never seen her show pain or I never seen her hurt to the body, because I think she's a lot like these boxers out here, man, like with hard midsections. They know that the core is an important part of your stance. And to be a boxer or like a Muay Thai fighter stand up, you got to have a damn strong core, And I think that that's what Valentina does. She works on that day and night. Oh, there we go, right there. Roger, he verified it. Val trains getting hit in the body every training session. Okay, so yeah. And if she took a knee to the gut, she had that game face. And I think she just said, well, it's time to bite down and stop these knees from, doing any more damage. So
right.
So yeah, I think it's just an all around mix. Like, she's so used to taking them, those knees would drop the average person, and they would drop I ain't trying to bash a fighter, but somebody with a weak core, I ain't gonna say no names, but like fighters with a weak midsection that I'm thinking of now would go down from those knees.
Caitlin Chukagian.
I didn't say any names, but
I mean, she good. I'm not hating on her, but
That's the thing about that fight with Juliana Pena too, is that style that Juliana Pena fought showed to be effective against Valentina Shevchenko. In some ways it was effective. And what nobody has been able to really do is get up in Valentina's face. Now, we seen Jennifer Maia, just not give a fuck about anything that Valentina was going to throw at her, and just, and just come forward and fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't fighting like Chukagian did, throwing punches short and not committing to anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's going to take to make it competitive against Valentina. Is somebody that's going to get up in Valentina's face and nullify the threat of the strikes coming from. And now Jessica Andrade, that's where Jessica Andrade, the topic of her comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like Jessica Andrade ain't gonna care what Valentina throw at her. You know what I'm saying? Like Jessica Andrade's gonna come forward, man. She gonna throw. So my question is, Valentina is not gonna be able to run from Jessica Andrade all night long. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this though, real quick. I'll let you answer, Robert. But the one thing I say,
hold on, before I forget, before I forget this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Joanna Jędrzejczyk, people gonna compare the Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight to when they're talking about Jessica Andrade. You know what I'm saying? I think what the difference between Jędrzejczyk and Shevchenko is that Shevchenko is not an active jabber like Jędrzejczyk is. Joanna is an active volume striker. Valentina's not. Her striking may be top notch, but we can really say that Valentina's counter striking is top notch. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a master counter striker. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, how is that going to work into a fight with Andrade? Jędrzejczyk was actively jabbing Andrade the entire fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you don't see Valentina throwing a lot of jabs. But go ahead, Combo. My bad.
Oh, you good? I was gonna say what you said about Jessica Andrade not really like giving an F or just going straight in. That's something I talked about in another video before. Like I think it's gonna be like a gift and a curse for her in this fight. Like it's either gonna work like it did in the Rose fight, or it's not, and it's gonna fail her like it did in the Wei Li fight. And I think if you're well-rounded like Valentina, whether she's dealt with the freakishly powerful fighter like Jessica Andrade before, I think it's already going to come into play for Valentina's mindset to say, I know this girl's IQ and octagon intellect is not on my level, so whatever she throws, my shots are going to count. And I think there's several ways to beat fighters like that. Like, yeah, Joanna is the volume striker. She popped her all day in the face with the jab, but she didn't have the power to knock her out. Where I think that Valentina has the precision punching where she can keep distance. She can just sit back maybe, I won't say a round, but maybe like a minute or two in a round and pick one or two shots, and it will knock Jessica Andrade out. I could kind of like put money on that because I feel like her shot.
Valentina got one punch power.
Well, think about this. Jessica Andrade coming forward plus the impact of her punch, she's doing half the work for her. She's doing half the work for her. Jessica Andrade's going to be coming into the shot, so she's actually going to be giving her more of a power, more impact. So it's like I can't even think of the analogy right now, but yeah, if a fighter is coming forward, they're doing part of the job for you. It's not all like about one punch power. It's about precision punching as well. That's what I think. That's how I think she could knock her out. Like same thing the way Wei Li did. Home in with one or two good hits and make them count, and actually use their momentum against them. You got to use that fighter's momentum against them. See, Rose played the matador. She was using angles. She was using angles, stepping side to side. She never really said, "All right, I'm gonna catch her coming in. She's gonna meet this shot halfway and boom, she's out." She never did that. Neither did Joanna. But I think Valentina has that ability to say, "All right, me and Jessica's face, my fist is gonna meet halfway with her, and it's gonna take away some of the work I gotta do to knock her out." I mean, if that makes sense, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Momentum. It's about momentum.
Combo.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna backtrack, but I'm gonna start where you just ended. I think the difference between Jessica fighting somebody like Rose versus fighting somebody like Valentina is Rose, and I wouldn't as much as I love Rose, I wouldn't say she's quite as precise as Valentina, but she's very precise herself. But the difference is Rose can be very precise and she can hurt. But I think the precision with the angles and the surprise, like the Valentina to me might be one of the greatest when it comes to setting traps offensively. You know what I'm saying? She's almost like second to none. And so I think that's why so many people think this is going to be a fight where you really get to see Valentina display some of her best skill set. But just going back on, just to wrap up about that thing about Valentina building up her core, her midsection. It's to me what makes Valentina so great and so potentially hard to beat is the fact that she has gifts. She has her natural ability, and she has her focus and all of those other things. But she compensates for what she doesn't have. She doesn't have size, so she got speed. She doesn't have other attributes athletically that some people have, but she works her body like she's sculpted. She has sculpted her body to be able to fight at various weight classes. I mean, because really, she was fighting people that were much bigger than her after they rehydrated. You feel me? So at the end of the day, that's that's key. That's key. It's like she think more. Put it this way, Valentina thinks more like a mixed martial artist than a lot of mixed martial artists. She considers everything. She goes everywhere. She trains with everybody. She considers every possibility into a fight. That's why she's so hard to beat.
The question is she as good everywhere as she is on the feet?
You know what?
Is she as good everywhere?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The argument that you just presented probably goes to a lot of fighters. Like, was Khabib as good on the feet? No, but he was comparable. He was good. He was good enough. And you can actually, throughout the projection of his career, you can see those areas where he improved. Could he still have made improvements on the feet? Of course he could. I mean, he could, but I think he willed himself to make his ability and his particular way of fighting just so detrimental and hard to beat. And I mean, it's almost like pick your poison. Do you want the Valentina route where you're good at a lot of things, even if one you might be a little bit more superior naturally than other people? Or do you just want to have this one thing where you build other strengths, you get stronger in other areas to be able to compensate? So it's almost like they're doing the same thing, but in different ways.
And
I'm done.
Let me pick up where you had left off on that question. BJ, I think that there are some areas where she's just like through the roof, where she's just valedictorian at it. You know, she is valedictorian at it. But there are some areas where she might not feel as comfortable, but she knows that I need to know a little bit of everything. So I think she's well-rounded. You know, let's look at Joanna. Joanna's good at what she does. That's why you can consider her one of the best fighters in WMMA, but she's really, really good at her striking because of her takedown defense. And that's what she chooses to do, but she still had to make sure that she could transition her striking over from Muay Thai to MMA. But she knows she has to have the basic fundamentals of grappling and BJJ because she needs to know what her opponents are going for, you know? Like, not every fighter is going to be A+ in every department, in my opinion, you know? I think they still need, like, some type of bread and butter to go to. You know, I think Valentina just has a good understanding of everything else, and when it comes down to it, she knows when to use it to throw her opponent off. You know, there's times like Roger made a good point here that he wouldn't doubt that Jessica Andrade might take Valentina might take Jessica Andrade down in this fight. We don't know because it might shock her at the moment. So I think she is very well-rounded. I mean, it's hard to say if she's an A+ in every department, but it's pretty damn close right now. And I see two BJ's in the chat room. What's going on, BJ? You got another line on hooked up or something?
You got some reinforcements.
Yeah, he got some reinforcements coming in. See, I was waiting for him to come back. Oh, okay. I think he just switched over. There you go. You had to switch, BJ.
No, man, it closed out and I had to come back in. I don't know. This thing tripping, man.
So, Sarah Morris, man, we were talking about that earlier. What's next for her, man? What do y'all think of, based off of that performance? Robert
I mean, Sarah
or
Morris
BJ? Yeah, go
never
ahead.
really looked like Sarah Morris never really looks like terrible though. Like, I mean, her fights are like, but she never really looks like terrible. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I guess like her last win is over Liana Jojua, I think. That may be right. Am I right about that?
I think so.
You might be right. I think it is.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of her last wins.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like Liana, and she was fighting a flyweight and she was 5 pounds overweight. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, it's not looking good for her, man.
No, it's not, man. I mean, even fighters like Sarge, you know, they got her out of there. Macy, well, she didn't get her out of there, but she beat her. I know Macy Chason stopped her like a year or so back. I just don't see her like rising to the occasion in any of her fights. And this last fight didn't really make me say that she wants to stay. Like, I mean, if they cut Liz Carmouche from her performance against Valentina, which I wouldn't have cut her because off of one loss, but I could definitely see them cutting Sarah Morris off of this one. You know, Dana White likes action, so if you don't come to at least perform, then yeah, I could likely see that happening where they cut her. What do you think, Rob?
Well, me and BJ agree on this 100%. What I'm about to say may sound a little worse, though. I feel that I'm disappointed by her performance. One, because I picked her to win this fight. I saw no reason why she should win this fight. But two, it revealed something to me. And I have a hard time not seeing it this way. Even when she lost to Sarge, it seemed like she was trying to win that fight. Yeah, there was some caution, but she fought hard. When she fought Liana, right? And I don't know whether because of the size disadvantage, but here's the thing: she's Kay Kinston. She has the size advantage a lot. Okay, so I don't think that's an excuse. I think she doesn't. I think she has a tendency to only rise to the occasion if she feel like, well, this fighter could submit me, or this fighter thinks they can submit me, so I gotta use my weight on them, or this fighter knocked me out, so I need to be better with my boxing and my striking. Like in this fight, man, it was embarrassing. I mean, you had Melo, all respect to her, but she was coming straight forward, doing very relatively for MMA stalking. Like it was ridiculous. Like she would sit there and just walk right up to her. And I'm like, she keeps throwing these jabs, but unlike, other people who use the jab, it wasn't setting up in. Yeah, she set up a little bit like in the last minute of the fight where it was finally starting to work more for her, but she wasn't really doing anything with it. It was like she was hoping she could keep backpedaling and win the fight. I'm like, all due respect, you haven't proven yourself to be that good of a counter striker. Like you need to get in there, use your size, fight big, fight tall, get her up against the fence, use some knees. I mean, look, if I can see this, it's clean as day. And then I know somebody in the corner should have told her, like, maybe you should get the fight to the ground. Now, was she hurt? Did she come in that fight? I mean, she just was so passive. So it was disappointing to me. And, her future may be not in the UFC. As far as I'm concerned, she's earned it. I'm not saying that I'm going to laugh super hard if she get kicked out, but I can see why a lot of people kind of see how she can not have a job next week.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, if you come, Dana White's like the general manager. He's the manager. He owns this place, and if he sees you not rising to the occasion to do your job, or if you just half-assing it, if you ain't even half-assing it, but you just like a little quarter a piece of ass, he's gonna get you out of there. I mean, that's how he is about certain fighters. He'll like make an example. Like if he's not seeing entertainment value there, which is what he goes off of. I could see him cutting her though. I mean,
And coach. Go ahead.
Vanessa Melo, she definitely saved herself. I mean, I won't say definitely, but she's coming off a 3-fight losing streak. But sometimes you can't count these fighters out that on losing streaks, man. Like Tisha Torres was like 0-4. Maybe they gave her somebody that was more so tailor made for her, but she rose to the occasion, man.
Carlos Condit snapped a 5-fight winning streak. I mean, a 5-fight losing streak. Now he's on a 2-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
Did you? I didn't know for sure. If you looked, I was looking at the cards coming up. Did you see those 2 new flyweight girls coming into the division? I forgot. I didn't get their names.
Victoria Leonardo.
I think that may have been what it was. That's a fight book with 2 new flyweights.
Yeah, you talking about the card this Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's Victoria Leonardo and Manon Ferrier.
Yeah, Victoria Leonardo, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them before, so I think that's going to be good, man, because Manon, or however you pronounce her name, she was a flyweight champion in her organization, so...
Yes.
That's going to be a good fight. I'm leaning towards Manon, though, because I think sometimes Victoria Leonardo can get a little reckless in there.
She can get a little careless, yep.
Yeah. So y'all in the chat, don't forget, man, that card is on Wednesday, not Saturday. So don't miss that.
That's the is that the Adarujo Modafferi fight?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Yes. That's gonna be a good one, man. I can't wait to see that. Man, if Roxanne Modafferi can turn back Viviane Adarujo, man, that'll be huge, dude. That's a huge win for Roxanne Modafferi, man. If she can beat Viviane Adarujo, man, and Viviane's got some good wins, man. You know what I'm saying? She's a tough fighter, dude. Tough. She hits hard. But the thing about Roxanne ain't got much of her chin ain't that good, dude. Like, because she was getting rocked by Lauren Murphy. Like, Lauren Murphy had Roxy doing the stanky leg, bro.
Yeah, she did.
She did, man.
I mean...
Hey, BJ.
What's up?
There's only one problem, though, if she win that fight against Adarujo. She don't even give a damn, man. She don't care. She just gonna go around and call out somebody who's either ranked below her or is not in line for a title shot. That's what I don't like about Roxanne. Like, I hope if she win, actually I hope she don't win, but if she does win, I hope that they got some like cue cards or some post-it notes posted on up against the cage and she can read. Like, no, I'm sorry, you like 38 years old, or about to be at least. It's your duty as a veteran to shake up the division. I don't want to sit there and go like, what you gonna do? Like, who you gonna call out? I'm calling out all the Japanese toy makers to not put her on a toy or to give her a sponsor, but to donate some toys to my house because I like playing with toys. She's gonna say something stupid, man. I don't know. Or challenge him to a anime dancing contest or something. I don't know. You just know she gonna say something stupid, man. That's some sad thing about it.
But what do you think about that, BJ? Like fighters like he's talking about that just want to fight but not challenge. They're almost like what you call a contender champion. They just want to stay in the contender lane. What do you think needs to happen to those type of fighters, BJ?
Go out in the forward with
I think the UFC is, no matter what these fighters say, I think the UFC need to make them fight who they should be fighting according to what the rankings say. If the rankings say that she has to fight, Jessica Andrade next, or Cynthia Calvillo or Caitlin Chookagian next, I think that should be what gets presented to Roxanne instead of Roxanne, winning, beating Adarujo and then calling out Montana De La Rosa. Like, that's not gonna work. Like, that's just not gonna work, So, or, calling out somebody, like you said, ranked below her or whatever, So they just need to make Roxanne fight who she should be fighting. I mean, because how much longer are we gonna see Roxanne in the cage?
Right.
I want to see Roxanne fight for the title at least one more time. Like, she fought for the title once, but I want to see her fight for the title one more time. Now that Roxy has grown and stayed in the top echelon of this division, you know. So I mean, Roxanne has held on to her spot, man. So let's see what she can do with it.
Yeah,
Because if Roxanne don't seize the opportunity to fight for that belt, which she was in a great spot to do so after she beat Macy Barber. You know what I'm saying? Like one of these young fighters gonna pick Roxanne off. They're gonna take Roxanne up out of there, dog. One of them young fighters gonna, you know what I'm saying, gonna mess up Roxanne if she don't seize that opportunity to get to that damn belt. She needs to get to that belt. You know what I'm saying? We need to see her fight Valentina Shevchenko. I think I need to see it happen because, you know, Roxanne is, I mean, as much people don't like what Roxanne say, Roxanne is one of the solid fighters in the top 10. You know, I mean, Roxanne Modafferi is, like I said, as much people don't like. Robert.
I got him. I got him muted. Hold on. I can mute him.
You know, as much as people don't like Roxanne, she's still a solid staple in the top 10 at 125.
Right.
Whether you like her or not, she's one of the solid, very well-rounded fighters. I mean, you want to talk well-rounded. Roxanne is one of the most well-rounded fighters in the division. So it is what it is.
Yeah. When was the last time she fought for that title? Like, what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah, she fought Nico.
Yeah. So, I mean, is she really just happy with staying in this position? That's what I'm saying. Like, Antonita, she beat Antonita. She handed Macy Barber her first loss. She handed both of them their first losses. I was like, that was the perfect time to call for the bullet. You know what I mean? Why not do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, seize that opportunity to do that, man, and you know, because like I said, one of them young fighters, man, you know, she run into a Taylor Santos, or you know, she run into a Jillian Robertson, or somebody will take Roxanne up out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Roxanne got to be careful, man. You know, not going for it when she got that opportunity. She got lucky to get past Macy Barber. She got lucky she did to Macy Barber what she did, because if that fight had went longer, Macy Barber might have got her. You know, well, no, not if the fight went longer, but if Macy Barber hadn't got hurt, Macy Barber might have put Roxanne Modafferi up out of there. Like, she might have hurt Roxanne if her ACL didn't tear. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Roxanne got to take it. If she can beat Aderujo, and Aderujo was somebody that was pushing, man, Roxanne need to fight somebody like Tukagian, or, you know, possibly get a title shot next. You know? So.
Well, let me ask y'all this too before I forget to. Jocelyn Edwards made her UFC debut. She won, man, against Wu Yanan. What did y'all think of her performance, Robert?
Unmute yourself, Robert. Unmute yourself, buddy.
Hello?
Yeah. Jocelyn Edwards.
Okay, can I say this? I'm going to talk about the Jocelyn Edwards. I just want to say this one last point about Modafferi. Get right to it.
All right.
If she does not fight Valentina or someone, I suspect it's going to be Valentina, though, but if she does not fight one more time for the title, that will always be a stain on her career, because she only fought for the title in the inaugural, what is it? Basically, she lost to Nico Montano, who is a disgraced champ. So it's like, to me, that would be a stain on her career. And I think the only reason she fought was because Sarge got hurt. So I think she should earn it, and she should take. She needs to seize the moment more than anybody in that division. That's my final thoughts about her. So I really, that's why I don't really. I'm gonna say I don't respect her on some levels, but that's why I don't respect her like a lot of other flyweights. But anyway, Jocelyn Edwards, right? So I think that Jocelyn Edwards looked real good in that fight. The first thing I noticed right away was the more that she was aggressive, the more she was able to catch Wu Yanan constantly. I mean, Wu Yanan did have land a few couple of blows, though. I give her some credit. But the speed, man, the speed advantage was just, it was apparent. And and I think her ability to grapple on the ground, it pleasantly surprised me. I mean, I looked a little bit of her film before, but I wasn't so sure how she was going to be able to handle the ground game of Wu Yanan, and that impressed me. And she was offensive on the ground, not just defensive, which is good. So I think she has some real potential. The only problem is that even though she's strong for her size, there's some big girls in that division who may be able to neutralize what she's able to do.
Yeah, that was a bantamweight fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll see though.
Man. She looked like a flyweight in there.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she looked like she went up to fight that fight, even though she might be more of a true 130, but there is no 130. So,
I mean, we might see her. We might. I mean, she may have taken that fight at 135 just to get into the UFC, and then she dropped down to 125. I wouldn't be surprised, man, because she's small, man. Like those big girls, like if she move up, she hit like a Shayson or somebody like that, man. Like they gonna hurt her, bro. or B. Maleki or somebody like that, man. Like those big girls gonna hurt that little girl, man. Like she may go. I wouldn't be surprised if she went to 125.
Yeah, Johnson might need to go to 125 because I mean, like her frame was looking like what's her name, Agapova. It was kind of looking like that. Her frame.
I agree.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, I see her looking good in these type of fights. Even on the ground she was pretty good, but yeah, the bigger them girls get, it's gonna be tough. But I don't know, man. I could see her giving Sarge a tough fight. I could even see her giving Avila a tough fight, though.
I think she might pull an Araujo and go down to 125.
Yeah.
What's crazy about Araujo is her fight before that 135-pound fight outside the UFC was a strawweight fight.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Before Viviane took that fight at 135 and knocked that girl out, Araujo was at a strawweight for her whole career.
Damn.
And then she came in and fought 135, and then she found a place at 125. I said, wow. Araujo at 115, man. Can you imagine?
I can't even imagine.
Can y'all imagine Viviane Araujo at 115?
Nah, she kind of like, even looking at her at 125, man, she kind of thick too, like, and she's like muscular too. I couldn't believe she was cutting down to 115, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. She would hurt. There's a few girls like Emily Whitmire, like some of those small like girls, you know what I'm saying, at 115, man, she would hurt those girls. Them girls ain't dealt with that power until they ran into Andrade, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at 115, like whew. So she got knockout power like at 135.
Yeah. What are y'all thinking though? Like, you think this is like Jessica Andrade's ideal weight? You think this is where she needs to be? Like her prime, strongest? Is it?
I think it's less of an advantage than she has over the girls at 115.
Yeah.
Her being at 125, you got girls that's coming up from 115 and coming down from 135. So you got a nice little mix. But at 115, man, she was bigger than a lot of those girls, except for maybe like,
Joanna.
Young Jacek or Tatiana Suarez or something like that. There's some bigger girls at 115, but not Andrade's big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Andrade was thick.
I think that Andrade's optimal weight is 125. Now maybe earlier, perhaps in her career, 115 worked good for her, but I think it became too much weight cutting. And I think the way that she builds with the way that she fights, because she's pretty much like a little tank coming at you, firing on all cylinders. I think 125 is her weight, even though she's going to give up some size to those people who I mean, look, Kagan to me is she's somewhat of a betweener, but I really, in my opinion, is she's supposed to be at 135, but she fights at 125 because one, she has the frame to cut that weight without hurting herself, and then B, it's a weight cutting league, like they say. It's an advantage. So, but I honestly think that her optimal weight, I think her speed, her energy, her reaction, I think 115. I wouldn't be surprised that it does something to her. Over like maybe it doesn't necessarily change her style, but it but she may be giving up something like a little bit of power or reaction time, because when she gets beat, usually, other than her last fight, when she gets beat at 115, she gets beat.
Yeah.
So you think that Chukagian is not? You think Chukagian is weight bullying at 125?
Well, hold on. I think that because of her, okay, okay, she's tall, she's long, right? She is lean. I think she could fight comfortable. What I'm trying to say to you, BJ, is she fights comfortably I think she can fight comfortable at either weight. I think it's an advantage. I don't think it is as much as potentially weight bullying as uh, she's kind of like another Joanna. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna say that Joanna is weight bullying, but I'm saying they almost like those tweeners. It's like there's no perfect fit, but the lower weight class of the two is always the better choice. You know
So
what I'm saying?
you think? Okay, so what would you think about fighters like, what I'm saying, like Montana or Antonina Shevchenko? Those are big flyweights too.
I agree with people who say that Antonina should fight at 135. I agree 100% that it seems like she would have more muscle, probably better reaction time, better focus. It seems 120. She's looked comfortable of late, and that's good. But I honestly would prefer to see her at 135. Plus, I would like to see her in a division that her sister wasn't in. That didn't make any sense to me anyway. That's just my opinion. But I think she needs to go. They said Montana De La Rosa. I don't know. Could she fight at 135? I think she could. She definitely would be a much dangerous on the ground because she's already dangerous on the ground. So I don't know. It could work maybe. Hello.
I'm here. I'm waiting on Combo to talk.
Me too. I'm trying not to.
Yo, Combo. He got his mic on mute. You got your mic on mute, bro.
Hello.
I'm here,
yeah,
bro.
man. I'm sitting here eating. I'm eating, and I'm trying not to be rude.
I'm back. I had to step away for a second.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I had one last question for y'all, man. Like who's some fighters y'all looking at right now? Like, if there's any, like, just some up and coming fighters that y'all just been kind of studying or looking at, like, as far as the next thing,
Here's the thing. I think there was a younger fighter I was thinking of, but I can't recall which one that is. But a fighter that I've definitely been looking at, and that's mostly because of y'all, is Love Young.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the power and the skill with the hands. Like, I looked at that play. I think Jason Rose posted it, and I was looking at the replay, the constant replay of the body shots and the head shots. Like, it just looks so brutal. It just like, at first when, like, okay, so I'm like, Combo. If Combo talks about striking, then I'm like, okay, you need to check it out. It must be something good, right? But when I actually looked at that one, I mean, I saw the one before. I'm like, this one is like, it's unique in its own way compared to the last knockout, but it may be even worse. Like, she looked like, you know what they say, pissing out blood. Like, it just looked brutal. Or as they say, it was brutal. Like, that was some serious. Like, she's scary. I would love to see her at in the UFC or some bigger promotion where she could really display her talent, because other than Andrade, but the difference is she's more technical than Andrade. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Other than Wei Lee, who is that technical, that small, who can do that type of damage? You don't see a lot of that out there. So
No,
I'm
like,
definitely looking to see what happens for her.
yeah, Tisha Torres is like got the muscle, but she ain't got the power like Loveth Young. Like Loveth Young be trying to take your head off, and like I'm telling y'all, like that left hook to the body she hit Kelly D'Angelo with. I was like, that's the end. That's the beginning of the end right there, man. Like she just started teeing off on her, man, and Kelly was just trying to weather it. I mean, Kelly landed a couple good shots in that fight, but you know, nah, like Loveth was like, I ain't having it. I'm the better striker. So yeah, she definitely wanted to look out for though. What about you, BJ? Who some other fighters on the come up you've been looking at? I think he might be either connection or he might have stepped away.
Oh, my bad.
Gotcha. Okay.
What my bad. What I got two of them. One of them y'all already know, but the one that I've really been wanting to see what she gonna do, how she gonna fit in. She's a young fighter, you know, how she gonna fit in at 115 pounds is Corey McKenna. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see if Corey McKenna, you know what I'm saying, that. I mean, her style, man, she just keeps fighting, man. She's a very active fighter, man. You know, and I just want to see what Corey McKenna does, man. You know, granted, the fight with Kay Hanston ain't necessarily the best out there. You know, I want to see how Corey McKenna holds up to somebody who's better than Kay Hansen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Corey. She's young. I want to see what McKenna can do in the UFC, especially at 115. 115 is a shark tank. You know, like I could see Corey McKenna fighting like Ashley Yoder next. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that, man. And Ashley Yoder is a tough fight for anybody. Anybody. Like Ashley Yoder can fight. That's one thing about Spider Monkey. She can fight. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, or like what was the girl that Ashley Yoder just fought? Was it Miranda Granger?
Yeah, Miranda Granger.
Yeah, like, you know, maybe something like that can be McKenna's next fight. And then, of course, I want to see what Liana Jojua does at 125 this year, man. I want, you know, that stoppage from Miranda Maverick, you know what I'm saying, that set her back. I want to see what she does, man. Like, can she sink? I want to see if Jojua can sink or swim at 125. You know, she's 1-1 at 125. So now I want to see what she does, like what she can do. Can she mark a place for herself at 125 pounds? So those are the two I'm really looking forward to this year, of course.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
as far as like young up and coming.
Gotcha.
Combo.
Mm-hmm.
You might have been you could have just been getting ready to mention this fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and BJ inadvertently brought her up. The fight I was thinking of was Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the young fighter. I definitely want to see. Like, I like her overall skill set. I like her tenacity. I like her energy. Now another fighter that's a little bit older. I don't know her age exactly, but clearly she's older. That I like. I guess this is like one of them fighters where I relate to BJ, where it's like you're so much into the way that they fight, not just the skill set. Juliana Avila. Any fight that she has, I want to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the fight where she's struggling and make mistakes, I want to see how will she progress, because I feel like she has a lot of potential to be dangerous. And even just to mention one more person, even Lipsky, because Lipsky surprised me a little bit in that Antonina fight. I think Lipsky, I didn't think much of her. Honestly, I didn't think anything of her, but I wasn't that much into her. But I see now that she could become a real dangerous fighter in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, going back to what you're saying, Avila, man. Yeah, that girl, monster, man. She go in there and bang, man. Like, she knocked Gina Mazzani out. She was in there touching Sarge up. You know, Sarge just got the chin like steel, you know, so she couldn't knock her out. So yeah, I agree with that. But
I wouldn't want to have Julia Alavini.
No.
I'd have to grab both her arms. She be throwing them blows
Oh yeah, like
hard.
man. And yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to Miranda Maverick. Like I talked to her recently. I told her I would probably get her on again. She said she'd come on again probably after the fight. I told her I didn't want to bother her during training. You know, this is a quick fight. It's only like 3 weeks. So I said I ain't gonna bother you while you're trying to train. So we'll probably talk after. But I think another fight I'm looking at now. I was watching it last night. I want to see what everybody's talking about, so I went to look at some of her fights, man. That girl from one, what's her name? Stan Fairtex or something like that. Fairtex. You know, I hear a lot of people talking about her. She got like 5 fights, so I watched the majority of them, and man, like that girl's tough. Like I think she's fighting the atom weight or straw weight. That girl is a tough, like kickboxer, Muay Thai fighter, man. She be knocking people out and like submitting people. Like her ground game isn't really like polished, but when she's on the ground, she's almost like your girl BJ, like Jillian. Like she's unloading her hands when she got you on the ground, you know. And when she got you hurt, she'll try to submit you. Her work in the clinch, man, she just be like throwing knees to your head and to your face, like your body. I'm like, yo, this girl is Stan Fairtex. I was like, they might sign her to the UFC eventually, man, because I think when she clean out one, that might be her next step. Because I think she's 5-0, 5-1 or 5-0 or something like that, man.
Sounds like she's killing it.
Yeah, she is. All her fights are on YouTube, so if you just YouTube Stan Fairtex, you can see all of her fights, man.
Hey, fellas, I gotta get out of here, fellas, man.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir. I'll holler at you boys later, man. Combo, appreciate you letting me in. Shout out to the chat and shout out to Robert Henry, man. I gotta bounce, fellas.
All right, just make sure y'all subscribe, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Peace out. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, Combo. I just wanted to mention one more fighter. Not so much up and coming, but you know, what is up and coming, you know, especially with the women. You know, you got fighters, they be fighting 10 years. Nobody know who they are until they knock somebody out, right? Of significance or win a close fight against somebody in particular. But one fighter that I want to see more among the bigger fighters, I definitely want to see Chelsea Chandler.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see, like, once I saw that left straight and that rush to the ground and the choke out, I was sold. I'm like, okay, this girl good. Like, it was good enough for me to see, you know, a girl that size with that level of skill set. Like, she ain't sloppy. She's technical. She gets after it, and she got pop. And that's a killer combination.
Yeah, man. She's like, you know, she is a killer, man. Like, I talked to her, man. She was like, yo, I don't care what weight it is, 135, 145. If they want it, you know, they bring it. And that's what she
remind me.
That's what she wanted from Kayla Harrison, you know what I'm saying? So
she shares a similar mentality to oh my God, I can't even think of the girl name. What is the sister name? You just interviewed her.
Josette, yeah.
Like when I first saw her interview, I mean your interview too, but especially Coach, man. She seems like a person, like she just loved to fight. It's like she loved the opposition. Like, I just want to get my hands on you. Like, I don't care all that talk. I'm not really interested in that. I'm a fighter. Let's fight. Let's just fight. It be whatever it is after that.
Yeah, she's like that too, man. Like when she goes in there, that's what it's all about. But I was just like, yo, like I can see why Kayla Harrison didn't want none of this, man, because this girl is, she knew the level was there. That's why, you know, I saw some other channels out there trying to say, oh, people are saying Kayla's ducking. I was like, well, I got some, we got some actual verification about that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and thanks to BJ, because BJ, one thing that BJ, look, I know we got our differences. BJ is so good at this. BJ will be online and he will ask the question during something, you know, there's a debate on whether a fighter want to fight another fighter or some type of controversy, and for whatever, they'll respond. Something about the way he formulated the question, they'll respond to him in a heartbeat. I mean, come on. I mean, Kayla Harrison and Lauren Murphy. I mean, it
Oh
was stuff
man.
that I was saying that I said, maybe I need to back up a little bit, but then you go and see the tweet, it's confirmed that, well, it does kind of look like Caleb might be ducking this person or has ducked Chelsea Chandler, so that's why I don't really apologize for, making a video with a picture of several ducks and duck noises in the background because Kayla Dunkerson, she ducked, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, not Rob, but yeah, BJ, like, he one of them dudes that like at the like presser, he'll just go ahead and ask the question, that everybody wanted to know, and he says the right words in there. I think that triggers them and makes them have to answer. Like when he sent that one tweet out, and Lauren Murphy responded, I always like send that back to him where she was like, "I did take the fight in all caps." It like it's something about the way he asks it. Like he knows how to say the right words, and they have to respond because there is some part of it that's true.
Yeah, me, see, I can't do that because I'm gonna ask them. It's gonna be clear the way I ask them, but the response I might get is probably gonna be something different. They may just cuss me out and not answer the question because it's not that I'm not gonna be intelligent. It's just that I'm not gonna, And I'm not saying that he necessarily did that. I'm just saying knowing myself. And then a lot of times you gotta look at the platform you're on
Yeah.
because when you're on Twitter, it's toxic, man. That's why I don't really mess with Twitter as much as I used to, because I'm telling you, a misunderstanding is waiting to happen, and then next thing you know, people that ran off to something that had nothing to do with what was going on. So you gotta
Right.
be careful on that.
Right. But yeah, man, I'm about to wrap it up here. But yeah, man, other night I was listening to your latest podcast episode, man. I said, okay. I said you got some good information in here.
Am I getting any better? Because you're one of my inspirations. I can't do it the way you do, but I try to like learn from you and different folk.
No, man, you getting better. I mean, for the direction and theme you dropping, I'm like, I like these short and sweet ones. Like, I'm actually listening to you because I'm like, dang, he's at like 20 minutes. I want to get my points across in 20 minutes sometimes, and being up here for like 40, 50 minutes. You know what I mean? So,
You see, we got the opposite problem. I be sitting there trying to expand it,
uh huh.
and then you sitting there saying you want to like. And don't get me wrong, I want to do different lengths for a lot of stuff, but I don't want to make one like honestly perfect podcast. I'm talking about just for me. Uh, I would prefer anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. I think that's kind of like like everything is still kind of fresh,
Mm-hmm.
But like, hey, if it ends after 18 minutes and it's good, sometimes it's good just to go ahead and wrap it up. But I don't necessarily time them as much, I just go for it, and then just learn by repetition. But it's just like on the open mic scene, like doing spoken word poetry. Like I learned that after 15 to 20 minutes, I mastered. I know how to do that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just learning another skill set. That's all.
Gotcha. Yeah. I kind of like it too. Some people I used to see try to do stand up, and sometimes they go to like those places where they call it workout, and they be on there for hours sometimes, but they learn how to cut the fat out. They cut out the material that ain't that good or what they need. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of kind of trying to say what you need to say and get it out there as fast. That's why I say, okay, Robert, he's got that down. I see, like, then he goes into the Savage of the Week. I'm like, okay, so I want to find
Yeah,
somewhere in between 30 minutes,
it
like you said, and 40.
like to me, you're real good at doing. Not trying to hold you all night, but you're real good at doing like 30 to 40 minutes. I can see you doing like a 45-minute podcast without a live stream, and then you fare well with the longer stream too. That those run different. Those are always going to be somewhat awkward unless you just force it into like a certain way. But yeah, man, for me, it's just kind of like I prefer to put as much information that's interesting within a shorter time, and then over time, where it works, expand from there and add more topics.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, I was watching your other video too, your recent video, as far as what you saw from Love with Young. Like I said, man, you gotta be you raw on it. That's what I like to hear sometimes. Straight to the point.
No, not Love of Young or Cheesecake Morris.
Yeah. Cheesecake more. Sorry, yeah.
I would never talk that way about Love of Young because Love of Young is gonna bring it no matter what.
Yeah. That's
I
what
can
I
already
meant.
see
Like,
that.
yeah, that last video I was looking at on Sarah Morris. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes fighters, I think when they keep playing games and they have too many yes men in their corner, they're not hearing the real. Sometimes they need to hear the real. Like, hey, you half-assing right now. It's
I
time.
like her. Here's the
I do
thing.
too.
I'm not saying that as somebody who hates her.
No.
Like, I don't like Lauren Murphy, but I respect the fact that she's in the business of fighting. So when she does strange stuff, it makes me upset. But I'm more upset at Sarah because I actually like her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that here's the thing. It wasn't like Lauren Murphy was about to lose her job. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That was more about competing on the highest level. But Sarah, I'm like, come on. I mean, I don't want you out in the street, even if I didn't like you. You know what I'm saying? You just lost your job because you didn't try hard enough. That's the worst reason. That's worse than quitting. Oh, all out saying, "Hey, Dana, I want to be bought out my contract or something." You know what I'm saying? That's more respectable. I don't know if you remember this, right? There was a football player a couple years ago. I heard about him. I think he played for the Jets, right? He was a good corner. I promise I ended after this. But he was a good corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he quit on his team at halftime.
Oh, wow.
He literally retired at halftime.
Yeah.
The team was losing. They were getting blown out. The defense was, getting destroyed. And he walked away at halftime and announced his. And my thing is this, like, dude, could you at least wait until the end of the game? Clearly you didn't want to be there anymore. And clearly you came in the next year off of that injury and you weren't the same player no more. You stealing people's money. That's how Dana gonna look at it. Regardless of how you feel about Dana White, he's right as far as this. If you in there and you not giving your all and you taking it for granted, that's like stealing money.
Yeah.
So that's my final thoughts on that.
Okay. Yeah. Vontae Davis.
That's the guy name. I heard his name. Yeah, I heard him before. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember a lot of people talking about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just on the clock stealing time. You know what I mean? You just on the clock stealing time. It's not right.
I know that guy had to make millions of dollars.
Yeah,
he
was
a veteran, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, my final thoughts, like I said, man, I just want to see fighters like that do the job, go in there. Like, I didn't have any money bet on Sarah Morris. I mean, yeah, I got my prediction wrong, but it ain't about that. I wanted to see her go in there and just try to, like you said, keep your job. Go in there and put in the work. That's all it's about, man. Everybody else did it this weekend. Jocelyn Edwards, Love of the Young, and Max Holloway. He really did it. So
yeah, man, he did it on the highest level.
Exactly.
But my final thoughts, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get off after this, is I'm very excited about the fact that we got double helping of fights this week coming up, and I'm thinking about doing a mini podcast around, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, and I might even start it like a midweek segment or something to go with my other podcast. But yeah, I mean, either way, I'm gonna be covering it through video. So appreciate the time. I'm out.
All right, yeah, just go over to Robert Henry's channel, Savage WMMA Fan. Check out his podcast every Friday, right? Every Friday in the evening, right? Oh, he just dipped out, but yeah, he'll leave that in the comment section there for me. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got. Like I said, I just wanted to jump back on and do this continuation after the live round by round commentary I did. But I'm gonna be doing more like that. Like I said, I like to go back and watch these old fights on here, give you my assessment of the fight. Probably pick another couple fights I might do Wednesday or something. But I know I got another interview or two lined up. So yeah, man, just make sure y'all subscribe. Yeah, podcast is every Friday. Just like I said, Robert Henry said, podcast every Friday. So just subscribe to Savage WMMA Fan. But yeah, man, thanks everybody for tuning in earlier to the live commentary. And yeah, just make sure y'all subscribe here. Like always, Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.